I am sitting this evening in front of the garden beds that my girls and I planted as we do every year. So it's sort of a sacred space for me, and it's a cozy space to read to you. I'm going to continue reading from my conclusion from the book. I just want my kids to be healthy and not get teased, quote unquote. This is from page 247 in my book. Many parents, in their quest for non-GMO, organic, healthful, preservative-free, locally sourced foods, are guided by a genuine desire for their children to grow up healthy, fit, and accepted socially. Parents in particular can experience a pang of remorse when their child's snack of Oreos and goldfish are subjected to nervous to horrified reactions by another parent who prepared heirloom orange wedges in perfectly chemical-free containers for their little one. The fact is that most parents truly just want to do right by their child. What many parents don't consider is the invisible cost of strict, bordering on orthorexic, food rules followed in the name of health. That cost is a perpetual haze of food anxiety that swirls through the home. This anxiety isn't healthy for anyone, much less the kids who exist on the far side of the perfectionistic, achieving, intense side of the bell curve. Plus, such food rules are often arbitrary and can change by the month. For instance, coconut oil has recently been thought to possess special benefits, leading some health-focused families to insist upon its use over traditional cooking oils. However, coconut oil turns out to have more than twice the saturated fat as lard, and the American Heart Association recently recommended against consuming it. So if you happen to love coconut oil, great, consume it in moderation. But don't seek it out as a health food. Strict family food rules that might contribute to the development of an eating disorder risk exchanging theoretical food-related health benefits for a potentially deadly mental illness that's proven to cause serious harm. What about parents who think their child should lose weight in order to be healthy? This is complicated by well-meaning pediatricians who have actually recommended weight loss. Multiple studies have shown that dieting among adolescents leads to greater weight gain. Adolescents who engage in secretive eating, possibly in reaction to being on a diet, show more disordered, eating-related psychopathology and dieting behaviors, as well as loss of control eating in those who do not eat secretly. This makes sense now that you've read this book. Children come in all shapes and sizes, go through growth spurts and body changes, and progress through adolescence into adulthood in their own unique ways. Making negative comments about your child's body is likelier to sow seeds of dissatisfaction than it is to promote healthy behaviors. And body dissatisfaction has been found to be the #1 predictor of early onset eating disorders. Rather than hope their bodies conform to a narrowly defined, thin, white ideal, teach your children to celebrate who they are and honor themselves independent of their size and shape. Focus on emotional health, fun movement, and balanced meals together, not body weight. Turning the page. I've been doing it all wrong. How do I change? One of the most influential acts a person can perform, and no one is more powerful to a child than a parent, is to admit that they were doing something wrong and talk about how they plan to change. Let's imagine that you have a loved one with an eating disorder, or you have been a victim of diet culture for years, or your family has for generations. Or you've just finished reading this book and you reflect on your home culture around bodies and food. Maybe there have been conversations or habits that you now realize you'd like to change going forward. What now? If your kids are young enough, you can make these changes right now, and the main conversations will take place with your partner if present, extended family or friend group. You can let them know that you aren't going to engage in diet or weight talk anymore because you've learned these topics are toxic. And while some people might be able to have such conversations safely, you never know who might be harmed by such subjects. If your kids are older, it's fair to have an open conversation with them. What kid doesn't love it when their parents are wrong? You can say, I realize I've been talking about my body and other people's bodies in a way that hasn't been that great. I'm sorry. I really want to start over and set a new tone in this house. Could we have a conversation about how to change this? If your partner or extended family insists upon continuing to criticize or admire bodies and talk about food in a non-productive way despite the respectful but clear boundaries that you set, all you can do is try and stay out of it yourself and not participate. This will still give your kids a haven of safety in their own bodies when they're alone with you, with opportunities to process your own perspective on the topic by comparison with others in an open, inquisitive, and thoughtful manner. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I hope you have a peaceful evening, a peaceful week. Take good care of yourself, and I'll see you next time.